Hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in to my video right now or watching my video. So what I plan to do is to flip through my sketch folder, which have collected drawings uh, connected to TV design, mostly to TV design, set design, and film design as well, into a single folder. Most of them are, it's a mixture of originals and photocopies for anybody that is wondering lah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip through in this vertical format, and if I am able to find images, I'll put either on top or bottom of it in relevance to the image I'm showing lah. So the first version that you are watching now does not include the photo inserts, but I will attempt to add them on later. Okay, first page. I'm looking at this, and until now I'm still wondering what was the origins of this drawing. Essentially, it is a interpretation of a HDB flat, but it's much larger than anyone recognizes. It's probably, this is like a 5-room executive flat, but I drew it partially. This is like a 3-room flat, and everything else is fictional in that sense. Probably what I was doing, I know I'm not doing this as a stage design for any particular show. I think I'm not, because when I look at the patterns here, it is obviously not. But I think it was just an exercise for me to get in touch with my interior design roots. I'm interior design trained. At the same time, illustrating something more flamboyant for TV, maybe. Again, these were proportionately like maybe 3 feet, not 3 feet, 3 feet, yeah, maybe 3 feet, or 3.6 meters, not 3 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet to 12 feet flats with a doorway. So these were done all manually drawn. I drawn and photostated. I can't remember how I did this. More likely I scanned and did this in Photoshop lah. I don't know anything else besides Photoshop. So I was curious in seeing how I could manage to inlay the patterns as well in an image using Photoshop. It's all Photoshop. I don't think I've done any software. This is the kitchen, dining room area, hand drawn here, and then photoshopped here. Yeah, until now I do not remember why I did this for. Yeah, I don't. A bedroom. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember which year as well. One bad thing about my drawings is I don't necessarily leave a date back in the past. Now I remember Teenage Shakespeare movie, so probably it's done around that time. This is my second feature in 1997, 98. So probably this is done around that time. Plus my first feature as well, Forever Fever. That's the way I like it. This was in 1997 as well, or 1998. I think this is Boys to Men. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, I'm lost with my own date of drawings. Again, I have no idea where this is from. Proposed mobile phone shop. I don't know. I can't remember if this is a set in studio or it's this is definitely not a freelance. Probably it's a set in studio, but then I can't remember. Wow. When I have this, it more likely is a TV design or design for TV or broadcast. So this again is my hand drawn, manually drawn, not computer, hand drawn. Then when I scan in, I'll add the images in Photoshop. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't figure this out. Oh, nice. Okay, nice, because I remember these. These are elevational drawings. That means just one side for my Channel U launch show for the year 2000 or year 2001. This is essentially the largest TV set design I did before moving on to focusing on films and TV production rather than set design. This was done in UCC, University Culture Center, and elevations are done where we show, for the purposes of director, producers, talents. I don't know if they have ever seen this, but also for lighting men and for contractors as well, to see what my designs mean in this particular scene. Essentially, the base is still the same, you can see throughout, but I add on the set changes so they can understand. There will be a separate commentary where which scene this is and what's musical segments it is for. You can see the scotch tapes is yellowed out lah. So this is one scene. This is another set scene change. This essentially is the largest set I've done for television. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors, 5 floors. I'll count. This is ground 1 floor lah. 2, 3, 4, 4 floors. Okay, fine. 4 floors, 4-story high setup where all the doors are operational. This is a sequence. I wish I had video to show now, where the talents will appear in every door, and every other door with dancers, and there are multiple steps behind where they climb up and down frantically. Yeah. Now, these are the good days. I wish I had video. Again, this is another set change. This is the size, the height of the person. We will change the background, or rather the hanging designs, to make it feel like it's a different set, but essentially it's the same set. Again, quick perspectives and elevational sketches. Like, all of these are not necessarily proportionately in scale, but it's a quick sketch that I did to add to the floor plans that I sent out to the lighting designer to production, to see what it is I'm trying to portray. Because when you see such elevation, it's just one plane. So I'm trying to add more in terms of sketch, so they can understand what they are looking at without shading. This is also for contractors as well. If I'm not on set to tell them exactly what piece goes where, this gives them at least an idea, a three-dimensional idea of what's going on. Nah, this is a different set really. This is a set that never happened. I think I did this like a countdown show in TCS, but it didn't happen because of the giant clock lah. And I love this imagery. This is very Johnny Mnemonic, that type of cyberpunk imagery, which I really wanted to convey, but I remembered because this didn't happen. Size of the person, the height, and this didn't happen. Another set that I'll scan through quickly because this wasn't proposed to anyone, or neither did anyone want it. But I did it because I love the style of the freeform style, which at times I managed to achieve some of it during my time on TV, but not all. This, however, was done to a degree for Asia Bagus. I designed 3 seasons, or was it 4 seasons? I can't remember, of Asia Bagus. So this is the final season where I have a giant cutout of the text. Background, there might be some change. I always love an entrance coming in. It's a thing for me that they come out from an entrance. At the same time, it gives the set a perceived depth beyond just one plane that talents stand against, that there's something behind. So this is elevational sketch, perspective sketch. This is part of the design for the Asia Bagus. Yes, I have the color version. This is the black and white version. I mean the scanned version, a photostated version, sorry. Which I wanted to do like a club sort of feel. This didn't happen because it wasn't pitched. The concept was sort of changed before. So I changed the concept into what was made into the final, my last Asia Bagus set. But this set wasn't proposed. This is a children's show. I had to think about a children's show. Probably I'll talk about it in further videos if I go into it lah. Where I ended up enjoying doing kids shows, children programs. This is an isometric sketch. Again, all these are hand drawn. I have a thing also for isometric sketches. I love having a scene like sort of exploded view, from a bird's eye exploded view of the plan. That to me is as much information as it is to have a perspective, but at the same time a bird's eye view where hopefully when people look at it, they have different points of view as well to understand the space management and the design that I encapsulate in the final set. This wasn't made. I remember this was nearly pitched as a, I recognize this in the mid to late 90s. recognize this like sort of like an MTV kid show-ish sketch. DEFCON 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see it's very MTV lah, where there's a set and people hang around the set and they do links and they talk about stuff to camera. So this was a set that I would really love to have created back in the day. Again, there's an entranceway. I love entranceways. Even for this, there is an entranceway as well. I love entranceways. Entranceway. This is for an actual outdoor set, which was actually made. I think I have photographs. I have to find them. It's like for a beer festival and the World Trade Center back in the day. Again, no dates lah. I'll find pictures and probably scan here. This is just sketch for fun because I have a love for sci-fi. Now, one of these days, of course, I would love to build a sci-fi ship corridor. You know, it's like not as clean as, let's say, Aliens, but it could be something grungy-ish. Lots of stuff for, let's say, Firefly. In that context, I sort of did for one of the TV shows I did back in the mid-2000s, but I'll show pictures when I get to that. Pyramid Game. This is for TCS, Television Corporation of Singapore. Yes, the game show Pyramid Game. I don't know if anybody here watching recognizes Pyramid Game. This is for one season. I can't remember taking pictures of the set. I think I have. I'll super it here. When I find it. But this is how it looked. Or rather my design for it, which I played with literally the pyramid aspect lah. I can't remember what the directors, producers thought about it, but when I was doing it, I recognized it was corny because pyramids, but I wanted something to go back to that style. And the colors are, again, I'll show you the photos which I remembered, was in a very shades of pink and purple. I wanted to go like a vaporwave, but back then it wasn't known as vaporwave. I didn't recognize it as vaporwave, but now if you call it vaporwave, that's what it meant lah. But that was then. This is another set for Mind Your Body, one of my favoritist set which I did, where I was allowed to go with organic shapes, bigger shapes, to form a sort of this is a health infotainment show where two hosts will be on set talking about aspects of health lah. This is back in, I don't have a date. I'll super the date when I find images and put here. So this is Mind Your Body. Oh, this is interesting. At least I have a date, 97. So this is an external, numbers will change anyway, the external freelance set. I can say it now, not scared shy. It's a game show. It's a corporate game show. Corporate radius is there. I can't hide it. It was a corporate game show where I have images, but they're low res. Where basically it's a game show talking about corporate culture. Very team. I didn't actually see the broadcast version of this. One of my last few sets, which I really adored, is a Star Awards. This is 1998 Star Awards for Television Corporation of Singapore, which I wanted to go very gothic baroque theme-ish, but also recognizing as much details as I put in, how we are able to achieve that detail in construction and how it is seen on television is something that I learned through on the job on TV design, and how that affects film when I step into filmmaking as well. So this is an aspect of what I actually wanted. I remembered what I actually wanted was like a portion of the set, not fully built up set like we see here, but I wanted to have a portion of it, so sort of like a break apart set. I remember very distinctively this is what I wanted, because this was not what I could achieve at the end. The powers that be did not go for this concept, which I pitched for. This again, these two sets never made it into production, but they were conceptualized based on a show, Gurmit's World. This was the Gurmit's World's link set where Gurmit Singh, the host, you can mention names, no problem, sits about and talks and hosts and speaks to the camera. And these are links in between the vignettes that he reenacted. So I mean, at this point when I was doing this, it reached a point where I recognized that is much ado over the background and everything else. where it could mean literally a few seconds of him talking. So I can understand in terms of the production where it is not cost effective to do so. Okay, I understand again very quickly that these links, though I would love to have this built and made, it will only constitute a few seconds of them when they intro outro particular vignettes and scenes. So the validity, not validity, that's not fair to say. The cost of having this made for that versus what came out at the end here is a difference when it comes to uh, finances, because in the end we are also working with finances. It's just not just me drawing with my dreams and what I hope to do lah. This is for, it's a May Day special, one of the sets which I really adored in Television Corporation of Singapore. A May Day special, 1st of May, Labor Day in Singapore. So there was a special done for this particular year. I don't have a date. I think 1998 as well. 1998 was my banner year when I was in TCS, when I designed a lot of things, and I was excited because they allowed me to go as far out as I wanted. Let's say this is the initial sketch. That very often we show producers or directors a final sketch, but I have learned throughout my tenure to actually just sketch and show. You like, I move on with this. You don't like, I move on to something else. And I feel I'm pretty decent at sketching to get my ideas across. So I will do something like this, get the ideas across. Don't like it, pull back, do something else, and I will show the final image on screen here. I wish I had moving visuals to show, but I don't. I remember this. This is also vaguely remember one of the sets I did freelance, a stage design. Wow, 97 to 99 to celebrate 50th anniversary of SQ. I think all these are memorable to attend, which I can't remember. Singapore Airlines, it's a set, it's a stage set, which I cannot remember where, but you can see it encompasses, let's say, the cliched visual iconology of Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, planes, Big Ben. So this was a concept that I proposed. I don't know if this was made or not. Again, more freelance stuff where it's staging. I can't say staging. Stage design as well. Let's say this was a launch for a brand, a very traditional Chinese look. This was the launch of something sci-fi-ish for Sony. This is like the entranceway walking into the ballroom. This probably is a stage on a ballroom. This I think it was for a health exhibition where I was contacted to do conceptual drawing. So I designed all of this via sketch like this. So it wasn't fully colored. It wasn't anything beyond how it would aesthetically look, what I think the set should be. Then the events folks went with this. I can't remember if it was approved or not, but they carried on with the construction based on my sketch. It reached a point in time where we had an understanding of how my designs look. I think I have a floor plan as well. So based on these three-dimensional sketches, quick sketches, they will make something out of it. So these are sketches for my first feature film, Forever Fever, known in the US as That's the Way I Like It. Ahok, if folks can remember, this is Ahok's dining area. Ahok's living room. This side was on this side of this image. This was subsequently changed. Let me find the image. Do I have it here? No, I don't have it here. The design was subsequently changed with two pillars and with hanging beads. So that was that. So to create a level of depth. But that was done by a production designer, Lawrence Eastwood. I was the art director for my first feature film. Nobody in their right mind will hire me as a production designer for a first feature film, to be fair. But I was a production designer for my second feature film, teenage textbook movie. This is Ahok's bedroom. See if I can place here. We have the camera that is facing here. So I will do a sketch like this, not in color, where this will be shared with production and also my props guy, and also well, cameraman and lighting, so you can figure out in terms of space management, because these are traditional, but at the same time what we can do. The wall here is movable, is a movable wall, floating wall. This wall here is movable as well. You don't see, we don't have any behind the scenes filming of the sets being moved, but this wall is movable as well, so the camera can shoot here. The space is not as big as I draw it to be lah. It is smaller. So this was that. This was the scene in Forever Fever, or That's the Way I Like It, where Ahok goes in and tries out the bike in the bike shop. There's a long story connected to this. I'll talk about it next time if I ever get in. This is the toilet. We even did a toilet scene and had to design a toilet with pipes. All these were built and propped up, because they didn't have a toilet like this. I think there was a basin, I'm not 100% sure. In the end, we figured out how to, in terms of how the camera is, the shots are cropped, we do not see so much details, which is unfortunate, because got the whole toilet film sorted out. From here, this is, let me see what it says. Love of a Lifetime. Love Story. Love Letters. This was for the Current Affairs division, and they did like sort of a pseudo docu reenactment of a period time in Singapore. This is 1996, where it is based on existing Tuas TV World locations. I love Tuas TV World. It's like a studio backlot where we are to fill up the space with necessary furniture and to create the particular scene that is on the script, that's in the script. So based on the script and the requirements, I would roughly draw something like this, give it to the props guy and the setting guy, and for them to source out furniture to fit. Some of this furniture is specific to what I've seen in the storeroom, some is not, some is ideal. There are all commentaries here. I'm not going to read it now, but yeah, I can see I was totally enjoying this aspect of television, because it harks back to my interior design days, and at the same time it gives me, I enjoyed drawing. I still do. So back then I enjoyed drawing details as much as creating space management, but to me it's all part and parcel. So set design was a good fit, advancement or evolution of my interior design days. So that, at least that it is to me. Again, more sketches for Love Story, Love Never Dies. You can see when what I tried to do is not just a floor plan. We had to, because the place is big, and I love doing this. It's all part and parcel of everything I do. Enjoy doing it. Where is the location found? Location plan. This is the plan based on architectural plans that I traced out, because I love that. It's my habit from interior design days. Then I add on perspective drawings of what I think the scene would look like with props. So it's something, so that is always like, I think it was done in the A3 size sheet, not an A4. A3 size sheet, photostated, sent out to all the different departments. I enjoyed this. More sketches. You can see, it's obvious when you see a sketch like this versus something like this, where you see more straight lines, more rulers, I have more time to draw, to enjoy, versus something that's more free-formed and not wholly straight lines. And I admit this was something I developed later part of my tenure doing TV design. Then I started to enjoy non-perfect straight lines and having extra lines. It's maybe it's just to me, to myself, not to everyone else, but something that I enjoy doing. Again, it's something, it's rougher, but I enjoy the rougher aspect. You can see quite slack already. Details are not there already, compared to something like this where details are more. The floor plan more. Everything is so much more. Even a party, I would enjoy drawing the food and whatever snacks here, or the floor plan. I don't think I do the floor plan. Come on, man. Let me check it out. Probably is a zapped from the existing location map. I'm not that crazy. You can see I drew this myself, but this is probably from the existing floor plan of the place. Again, location. Wow, I think I'm having a bit too much fun here. And that's it. And that is it. And then I will super the end here, and probably links to my other ANDYHENGART videos, which is something I'm concentrating on these days, to get in touch with my design days and art direction days. And having said that, thank you all for watching. Bye bye.